What's up, y'all? 7th Bond. Nets Republic. Oh, that's a lot of championships from the Yankees, but that's not the end of there. What's up? So, it's more of the same. First of all, it's been a minute. You know, that break in the action, those couple days off. I'm sure that was great for the players. It was even better for me personally. I got a couple of mental health days where I could just come home and just enjoy being home. Kid been chilling. I ain't gonna lie to you. But now we back. And it's more of the same from the last video, basically. Kevin Durant is just so incredible that it's just it's video game like. It's comical. It's almost a parody, basically. I don't know what other hot button words I can throw out there to basically just get the message across to you that this man Kevin Durant is just he's not playing fair. I don't even think he's playing with the same controller that the rest of us are playing. If this is Street Fighter and all of us have a little PlayStation controllers, right? He's got the whole arcade long joint. You tap the buttons and it's got the joystick and stuff like that. He's got the fighting Kong thing, right? If we're playing Gran Turismo or something like that, right? We're sitting there with controllers. He's got the steering wheel pedal joint going on, right? Right? If we're playing Rock Band or something like that, or I don't know, Guitar Hero, right? We're sitting there trying to do the combinations on the joint, right? He's got the guitar with the buttons on it type stuff. We're playing two completely, it's the same game, but he's playing with a different controller and it's just on another level, right? We've got the guest controller. That's the off-brand one or whatever that you get at Kmart. He's got the one that came with the system. It's just non-comparable. With third party, you feel me? I need y'all to understand how good this man is. Now, obviously, from his amazingness, a lot of great things came from it. Obviously, Claxton was unleashed, and someone else was unleashed quite a bit. We didn't really get a chance to speak on this, and we won't get a chance to speak on it this game because there's just so much KD-isms to get to. I feel like I'm not doing my job as a reporter by not focusing on Kevin Durant here. But I just want to sprinkle this out here. I did not make too much of a big deal about it, but you all know how I feel about Blake Griffin. All I'm going to say is when we have someone that uses Blake Griffin properly, when you use the weapons on your Gundam, you see what happens. That's all I'm going to say. You use the weapons on your Gundam and you see what happens. The second Blake is out there with the Blakety Blake stuff, you see Kevin Durant draws the double team, throws it down low, splits the defense with the ball. I don't know how he did that. Threads the needle to a wide open Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin grabs the ball, one dribble, dunk. Contested dunk at that. I don't know who he had as a Superman bullet casualty ricochet off of him, but he dunked on someone. Use Blake. Use that man. Unlock the powers with Claxton, using him like Clint Capella, basically, as he should be used. I don't know what happened with the Harden thing, but it's just this is how these individuals are moved. Used. Let Bruce Brown cut around and, off the... God, is it even an Iverson cut if he's pulling up for a floater? I don't know, but when he cuts over to the middle, give him the ball, let him do the floater, good things are going to happen, or let him drive all the way. He's got the finishing. No one talks about that. We're always so focused on Kyrie. Bruce Brown's got the finishing, but all that is coming from Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant handling the ball, making the right decisions. Last couple games, he's been acting like Kristaps Porzingis and acting like he doesn't know how to pass out of a double team, but this game was nothing like that. This man was in the driver's seat, going back to the Gran Turismo example. This man was handling business the entire game. The assists, the rebounds, defense, offense, whatever. You want to dunk, you want a mid-range jumper, you want someone to hit the floor, even though Mike Conley crossed that man into the shadow realm and made him spin on the ground, but that's not here nor there. But outside of that, that man played a perfect game. Kevin Durant was on fire. Hitting contested threes like man's wasn't even that. Literal video game. The stuff you do with KD on 2K is what he was doing tonight. It was insanity. And this man's walking trash the whole time as well. talking that trash the whole time as well, telling people you're too tiny, yelling at individuals, asking who certain individuals are. And I think it's really interesting that ever since that Draymond Green podcast where he told us that he was the biggest trash talker in the league, I feel like we're all actively watching KD to see the trash talk, and it makes me want to go back and look at like older like content from this man and be like, has he always been doing this? I feel like the answer is probably yes, and we just weren't paying attention. But KD, let's say go like Kevin Garnett, but that's not even there. Through his greatness is how he won the game. And it sounds like I just opened the church of Kevin Durant, but through his greatness, we are saved. Basically, he says he's not a savior, but this is very savior-like what he's doing. Now, I do not think this is healthy in the slightest bit. Kevin Durant's going to have to do a lot of this stuff, plus a little bit more in the playoffs, especially with Kyrie not legally being able to play home games and anything against the Raptors or the other New York team. We're going to need this and a whole lot more for Kevin Durant. If this was a playoff game and it was like game 1 or 2, let's say hypothetically at the Barclays, it won't be, but like hypothetically it was at the Barclays, right? You would need Kevin Durant to do everything he just did tonight, plus 20 more points in order to win. And while I'm sure Mans is capable of it, I don't know if after basically the end of this entire season where Kevin is carrying, that's going to be enough. Because we're assuming Ben Simmons is going to come back. And Ben Simmons coming back is going to relieve Kevin Durant of a lot of the shenanigans he's having to do. The point forward can go right over to Ben. We don't have to worry about that. KD can just go back to all he has to do is score type stuff. And him and Kyrie can just go nuts. But in the meantime, I can't help but wonder, is all of this relying on Kevin healthy for him? I'm not, trying to say I know his body or something like that. Like, I'm not getting involved in any of that. All I'm saying is I don't know how good this is in the long term. And the way you hear Kevin Durant talk in these interviews, like, hey, don't expect a lot. If this man is not given any help and it's just him by himself, when it's looking like he's going to have to carry us to the playoffs during the regular season where every game is a must win, this is when this man is supposed to be getting a rest and load management like the other contenders. But we're doing the opposite. I don't know how that's going to go over in the long run. I'm sure it'll be fine. Again, KD is KD, but I watched Kevin Durant where he basically had the entire regular season to rest, and when it came to playoff time in Game 7, that man was out of gas. Now, is that entirely his fault? Absolutely not. Harden was out there on one leg, shouldn't have been out there. We all agree on that 1,000%. Giannis purposefully injured Kyrie Irving, so he wasn't out there, so it was just up to Kevin. But we're talking about a sample size of, 5, 6, yes, I'm counting on my fingers, 5, 6, 7. So that is 3 games, right? 3 games plus the second half of game 4. So let's say 3.5 games. That's 3.5 games where he was basically by himself and had to carry. He was successful in that once. That would be game 5. All I'm saying is I feel like this is not healthy, because if he was basically healthy and rested, and when asked to save us in the playoff series by himself, the 4 times that was the case, he only won once. Like I said, in the moment, these games are great and we can pound our chest and we say, Brooklyn. But the way Kevin Durant is talking in these interviews, I think maybe that means that needs to be all of our mindsets. I feel like there are still some of you out there who are, thinking we're going to get the championship this year. And it's like, that would be cool, but let's keep it a thowie. If we get out the first round, I think we should all have a little mini parade, because that is an accomplishment on its own. In the regular season, it's great. Kevin's doing incredible things, awesome. But In the playoffs, where it's a series, again, I really need to see what Ben Simmons is going to do, because I am just not convinced that Kevin Durant alone is going to be enough to get past the upper echelon of playoff teams. Now, if it was just the play-in, I'm not worried about that. You've never heard me once say we're not going to get out the play-in. I'm not concerned about that. I'm concerned about when we get into the playoffs after the play-in is over, we're facing those top teams. So that's your Miamis, that's your Phillies, that's your Milwaukees and such. Do we need a reminder of what the Celtics tend to do to us every time we play? Like, I really need to see what Ben Simmons is going to contribute, because Kevin by himself, though, and I should have started the video out with this. I apologize for having it so late. I'll make it up. I'm sure he will magically win us this next game too, so I'll have another chance to say it. But Kevin Durant is the clear MVP. He is carrying us. It's not debatable to me. I get Joel Embiid is great and everything, but Kevin is on his own carrying us. He was doing it when Harden was there in the beginning of the season. He was doing it when it was just him and Kyrie, and now it's not Kyrie, it's just him by himself. This man is carrying us to dubs on his back. Don't let anyone tell you that there were any other factors involved in tonight's win against the Utah Jazz. Now, I know your first thing is, well, I don't even know where Utah is on a map. I agree. I haven't the slightest idea. However, I am told that they are a good team over in the West. And Kevin Durant dragged this team of Band-Aids to a dub. And it would have been a blowout dub if that man didn't get tired and everyone else wasn't so trash. I'm not here to lie to you tonight. I'm sorry. I'm not here for that. That's not what we're doing. I'm not here to lie. I'm here to tell you nothing but the truth. And the truth, fact of the matter, whatever other cliche you want to sprinkle out there, is the fact that Kevin Durant is carrying. And without Kyrie being able to play in home games, and, the next 2 games are on the road, even when they play together, we need God-tier performances from both of them. Because I believe next up is the Grizzlies, at Memphis, Ja and them. We don't have a good history with that. We're going to need some really, really amazing performances. And having to rely on them like that, I'll just feel better when I see Ben Simmons play and I see what he's doing. Because I'll keep it a being with you. If Ben Simmons comes back and he is everything that I know he can be, and he's everything that y'all are hyping him up to be, then I am right back in the championship is possible mentality. 1,000%. Because it's look what KD's doing with Claxton and Bruce Brown. He made Blake Griffin look like an all-star tonight. Imagine if it's Ben Simmons. I just need to see him play so I can know what we're dealing with. With this man still not playing, we have no timetable. And I'm not totally up on part-time Kyrie and Kevin is enough to get us to a playoff series. I need to see what Ben is doing. Obviously, if all 3 of them play, it's over, but I need to see that. But let me know your thoughts down below. Are you choosing to be a prisoner of the moment? I mean, enjoy the moment and be hyped about this win? Or are you like me and just trying to piece together where this goes this season? KD says he's looking to the future. I think we should all do the same thing. If things stay as they are, I think we're doing ourselves a large disservice by thinking we're going to achieve more than what we will. Because basically what Kevin Durant is doing is what Trae Young is doing did on the Hawks. That's this heliocentric offense where everything runs through him, but if he ever goes down, then what? I don't know if we should be relying that much on Kevin Durant. But shout out to him for being the best player in the league and clearly the MVP. because I don't think I can name a star more important to their team than Kevin Durant. He should be getting his second MVP this year. No questions asked. Asked? Asked.